The Battle of Pingxing Pass is written in communist Chinese high school history books. If you encounter a Chinese from communist China, he or she would have studied this battle. This otherwise not well-known battle occurred on 1937, 25th of September, more than 2 months after the war between China and Japan broke out. Japanese 5th Division, around 20,000 troops, entered Shanxi. They are facing Shanxi warlord's army of more than 100,000 troops. On the 20th of September, 5th Division occupied the small city of Lingqiu. On the 24th of September, 21st Brigade reached the Pingxing Pass, an old part of the Great War. The pass was defended by the Chinese 6th Army. Unbeknown to the Japanese, the 18th Army, aka the Communist 8th Route Army, has also reached the area. Chinese history books' Battle of Pingxing Pass is about to begin. On the night of September the 24th, Transport Troop Lieutenant Colonel Xin Zhuangchun, along with 90th Company Commander Shidao Junyan, 91st Company Commander Zhongxi Ciba, finished transporting supplies to the 21st Brigade. On the morning of the 25th, Shanxi troops and the 21st Brigade engaged in heavy fighting. 21st Brigade immediately requested reinforcement. The supply troops started to move back and left at 0900 hours. 5th Division, as one of the few motorized divisions in the Japanese Army, has trucks. The Japanese Transport Company has less than 200 men. This group contained the whole of Shidao Company and half of Zhongxi Company, with around 300 men and a few dozen trucks. The 25th is a sunny day. Shanxi is a mountainous area. The cliffs on the side of the road were 10 meters high. Suddenly, a group of troops appeared on the cliffs. It is the Communist Army. 686th Regiment, commanded by Li Tianyu. Around 0930 hours, Communist troops started to attack the Japanese with rifle fire and grenades. They also equipped with some machine guns. Japanese troops started to fire back. A small detachment was sent to occupy a small hill on the rear. This is known as Shrine Hill. There's a small Taoist shrine on the side of the hill. During the battle, Communist troops also realized the advantage of the Shrine Hill and started to attack it. The battle lasted about 3 hours. Around 1200 hours, there was news. Lieutenant Colonel was dead. Shrine Hill was also taken by the Communists, who started to shoot the Japanese troops from the back. Around 1240 hours, Commander Shidao called for retreat. All the trucks were destroyed, and the surviving troops left the area. At almost the same time, because it rained the previous day and the temperature dropped, another transport group was organized. They followed the same road to supply the front. This group was escorted by a platoon, commanded by Gaoqiao Yifu. This group mostly used horse carts for transport. Incidentally, 5th Division Staff Member Lieutenant Colonel Qiaoben Shunzheng was also traveling with the group. He had 4 soldiers and a translator. 4 infantrymen recovered from injury also traveled with the group. Around 1100 hours, a few thousand 8th Route Army started to shoot the group from heights. The first and the last horse carts were destroyed, blocking everyone else in the middle. The Japanese climbed on surrounding heights and started to shoot back. This encounter lasted more than 4 hours. More communist troops started to appear on the rear and the flanks. At 15:30 hours, Lieutenant Colonel Qiaoben Shunzheng was killed. The battlefield went silent. None of the Japanese could retreat, although a few did hide in surrounding areas and survived. To summarize, the so-called Great Victory at Pingxing Pass was that a few thousand communist troops ambushed a few hundred of Japanese transport troops. Both sides suffered a few hundred casualties. Chinese history education is quite simple. Students are asked to recite correct answers from the book. If the words recited were correct, the answer is correct. The correct answer for this battle is the following. The Communist army destroyed about 1,000 Japanese troops. The Communists led the very first victory against the Japanese, destroying the myth that the Japanese cannot be defeated. This correct answer is quite subtle. The first half takes the first victory. The second half jabs at the Shanxi and nationalist troops, implying they cannot defeat the Japanese. This is obviously not reasonable. The 5th Division is geared towards Shanxi troops. Their heavy equipment, including artillery, armored vehicles, and aircraft, were used against Shanxi troops. Without it, Communists cannot claim this victory against the transport. There was a child story. Little dog, little cat, and a little rabbit tried to pull a radish out of the ground. Then came a little rat. The four of them pulled the radish out. The little rat then started to tell everybody he led the animals to the first victory against radish, destroying the myth that the radish cannot be pulled out. Even a child understands the moral of the story. But such is the power of propaganda. It will take a monumental effort to make a Chinese with communist history education to realize the fallacy. For a Chinese raised in communist China, the concept of first victory against Japanese, communists, and Eighth Route Army are implicitly linked, much of it thanks to the Battle of Pingxing Pass. The Japanese received news that the transport route was blocked. They sent some troops to investigate, but the 115th Division had left the area. 5 days later, on the 30th of September, Shanxi troops retreated from Pingxing Pass. The Pingxing Pass battle was over, resulting in a Chinese defeat. The Sino-Japanese War rages on. If you like this video, please subscribe and like. It will support me to make more. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.